All right, hello, beautiful people. How are we doing? We are on day 2. This is my 30-day journaling challenge. Um, I am co-parenting with a narcissist, and like I said, I have written a journal. The journal is called "God I Stayed When I Should Have Run." Now I'm breaking every chain. It's a 30-day healing journal for co-parenting with the narcissist, breaking cycles, and taking your power back. All right, so we did day 1 yesterday, and day 1 went pretty good. Day 1, let's backtrack a little bit. So while I'm journaling, the first thing you're going to get is a trigger truth, an affirmation, a journal prompt, and then a self-check. Day 1 went pretty good. So now we are on day 2. I am ready for day 2. All right, day 2. It always helps. I like to listen to music, and I also try to take deep breaths because these are trigger truths, so they're gonna trigger something within you because they've been triggering some feelings within me. Day 2, trigger truth: your silence protected their image, not your peace. Which is very, very true. That is why I say I will not be silenced any longer. I will no longer allow anybody to silence me. I'm going to speak up and speak out because that is one of the things I lost. And if you're a victim of any type of abuse, you maybe can relate. One of the things that we end up losing is our voice. So me being silent is only protecting their image, not mine, actually. And it's really not protecting my peace. Because, like I said, I had a habit of internalizing things. And it's best to get it out. Because when you internalize your emotions, it messes with you. It doesn't mess with them. It ends up messing with you physically, mentally, emotionally, all the things. Like I said, I was afraid to speak up and speak out and voice my opinion because it always got shut down. So here's my positive affirmation for myself and for you today. My truth deserves to be spoken, even if it shakes the room. So it's very important to realize that your truth deserves to be spoken, even if it shakes the room. So it doesn't really matter who it makes uncomfortable or who it upsets. Your truth deserves to be spoken. So speak your truth. Don't let anybody silence you. Don't let anybody shut you down. That is part of their power and their control whenever we remain silent. So it is best for us to heal out loud. It really doesn't matter who doesn't like it. Nobody, your abuser was not concerned when they were abusing you, so you cannot be concerned about who it bothers or who it upsets while you're speaking your truth. Don't let anybody slow you down, not your parents. And you need to speak your truth. If you have children, you need to speak your truth for the sake of your children because you need to be well in order for you to be able to parent correctly. So I was also told that my children may eventually be shown this, but I'm going to show them myself. I mean, so I have no fears about whenever they are older because I want them to know the truth and I want them to know my truth because I'm teaching them to be honest with themselves and honest with everyone else. So I have to be the first example. I have to be honest with myself and be honest with them as well. Like I said, I'm going to wait till they're a little older, of course, to, show them this. Right now, it's my job, to keep the peace and to make sure that they're happy. They're not old enough to understand, what I'm having to deal with, when I'm co-parenting with, their father. And that's not their responsibility to carry that weight either. But I'm talking about adults now. It doesn't matter who it bothers or upsets when you're speaking your truth because your truth is for you and it needs to come out. It doesn't need to be internalized. Okay, now our journal prompt for today is: what truth about your experience have you been too afraid to say out loud? All right, so the truth about my experience that I have been afraid to say out loud as I am co-parenting with a narcissist. Now, one thing that I have been afraid to say out loud is the fact, that I revealed that he had multiple female partners or multiple female friends. I was afraid to say that out loud. The fact that he had all those female partners. Basically, he was cheating on me and I still stayed. I was afraid to say that out loud. because, I was afraid of how that might make me look. But I realized that it doesn't matter how it makes me look. The important thing is that I realized that truth. And I realized that it wasn't my job or responsibility to keep trying to force him to be responsible and be a parent like he was supposed to be. So that was another truth that I had to come to realize, that me staying was not going to be healthy for me. And if it wasn't healthy for me, then it wasn't going to be healthy for my children. Because I had that belief, that, we had to stay together. I had to make everything, work and everything based on what other people thought or felt. And the fact that it would be better for him in the long run if I stayed and he didn't have to grow up in my children didn't have to grow up in a single parent home. But, I finally realized that that wasn't what was best. It was actually going to hurt, them in the long run, because I wasn't going to be happy, and it wasn't going to be healthy for them to see me be unhappy and for them to see me be mistreated. So, yeah, those are some of the things I was afraid to say out loud, because I felt like it was me giving up. But I had to come to the realization that it wasn't me giving up. He was never committed from the beginning, because if he had been committed or been willing to be committed and willing to make the changes, then we would still be together. So, yeah, those are some of the things that I was afraid to say out loud. Also, I was afraid to admit that I didn't feel like I deserved any better, but now I realize that I do. I did deserve better, and my children deserve better as well. So that is some of the that's one of the truths that I was afraid to say out loud. Now, the last part of your journal, 30-day journal, is we have to do a self-check. So first question is, what did I feel today? Well, today I actually had a conversation. I had to be the one to reach out, and I felt a sense of anxiety and I felt a sense of dread. But then after the conversation, I kind of felt a sense of relief, because I don't know, I just always have anxiety when it comes to having a conversation with him, because I already know how the conversation is going to end, and I know what it's going to involve. It's going to involve a whole lot of extra and a bunch of running around in circles from him, and it's going to involve me having to basically keep the conversation on track and keep my feelings and emotions in check. So I still felt a lot of anxiety today. Now, what did I need today? Today, I needed to be heard and listened to, and I feel like maybe he listened maybe like 10%. He listened to maybe 10% of what I said. So that was a good feeling. What am I ready to release? I'm ready to release the weight of having to be responsible for everything. I'm ready to release the feeling, the anger that comes along with that. The fact that I'm responsible for everything. I'm ready to release that. So, like I said, this is my way of healing. This is my way of processing all the feelings and emotions that I have to deal with as I'm co-parenting with the narcissist. It's not easy. Like I also said, pre-orders are available now. The link is in my bio. We are only on day 2, and I already feel a whole lot better as I'm doing this day by day. So hopefully you are journaling right along with me. And you can send me a comment, or you can send me a message if you're interested, and if this journal is speaking to you as well. But please join me on this 30-day challenge of healing and taking your power back, as I am co-parenting with a narcissist. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Peace.